All right, y'all. It's Tootie's table, and we are prepping for Sunday lunch. I'm trying to get you nice and set up here so that you can watch me. Okay, let's turn that just a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna make sure that you are seeing everything you need to see. All right, now, okay, we are gonna have lunch tomorrow. A bunch of families getting together, and I'm super excited. And so I love to host, okay? So here is a pork loin. It's a half a loin. And here are 2 sirloin roast tips that I got from Aldi's. 1 and 2. They're the Black Angus roast. They're my favorite. I love them. Now, I am going to pan sear my meats because that locks in the flavors and keeps you from losing all that moisture and flavor from inside the meat, because I'm going to cook my meats all night. I'm going to cut my oven down low and I'm going to cook them all night long. All right, so let's get started. And I'm going to use, I want y'all to see the prepping dish that I'm using. Oh my goodness, look at this. It was my granny's. It's a Corningware roaster, maybe? Is that what you'd call it? I love it, y'all. Okay, so I'm gonna use my granny's Corningware roaster, and I'm going to start opening up my roast. I'm gonna do it first. I've got my skillet nice and hot, and I actually pulled it off the burner because it was getting a little bit too hot, okay? So I'm gonna take the roast, and I'm gonna lay them in this dish. Now, they're a bloody mess. All right, let's open this one. And they are wrapped in like a brisket type, it reminds me of how they wrap a brisket in like a net, so to speak, to hold it all together. And so, y'all, I'm talking, oh, that was nice. I just dumped a whole bunch of Creole seasoning all over my cabinet. Oh, the bloopers. I should make a whole video on just bloopers. Okay, so if you, I'm gonna get this over here where you can see it. It's got like this mesh stuff on it, and it's just to hold the meat together. I really don't see a chance of this meat coming apart, but they must have. So they've got, and I'm gonna take all this off. Okay, and I need a garbage bowl. Let me get a garbage bowl. Grab you just a big bowl and keep it somewhere. I am like loaded over here because I've got so much stuff I'm doing right now. Okay, so I've got my skillet is nicely greased with olive oil. And tonight I purchased a seasoning that my husband was like, hey, the guys at work are saying that this seasoning is really good, and I have used it before. I think it was something left over from an event that another caterer that was in at the church had left. It's the Kinders, and it is the grilled chicken, and yes, I'm doing roast. But I looked at the ingredients, and I like them, and I'm thinking, why can't I rub my roast, the pork loin and the beef roast down, because we're going to have both. There's going to be a bunch of us here. I say a bunch. My mother is in town, and this is the last Sunday that she will be here. And so we're getting together for lunch, and it's my sister and I and our families, basically, is what's coming over. But that's a good little handful of us, and we're doing this after church. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rub this. It's got sea salt, garlic, and herbs. And the herbs, they don't tell you what they are. They mention a few, like dried onion, paprika, and it just says spices. So they don't tell us what's in it. But y'all, I'm liking how it smells. So I'm gonna rub my roast down with this. It's really easy to make a roast, really easy. But there are different outcomes depending on how you prep it. what you do with it, how you cook it. And I think this is primarily what I'm going to put on it to pan sear it. So I've got a little bit of olive oil in my pan. So I'm just going to kind of rub this down. I want to really coat it though, man. We want it to really be covered with this Kinder's. Okay. All right. And then we're just going to cook that on like a medium. It's going to get a little loud, and I actually have a new microphone, but now I have icky hands, so I'm not even going to mess with it. But this is going to be a quick thing. I'm just going to quickly pan sear all sides. The goal is not to cook your meat. Don't cook your meat. Your meat's going to cook all night. Now, if you were cooking this during the day and you wanted to just have it ready for dinner at night, then you could put it in mid-morning. I'm not going to cook this in until I go to bed. It's going to cook for about 8 hours. And then I'm going to, okay, so I'm going to cook it on probably about a 250. And it'll be done when we get up. So I'll turn it down to just warm while we're at church. Okay, so that's these two. And it looks like I'm going to have enough room in my pan for both of these. Yes, perfect. Okay, we'll rinse this out before we do the pork. Okay, so my two roasts are going to be, my two beef roasts are what's going to have potatoes and carrots in with it. Okay, so I've got me a nice big roaster. It's my Pioneer Woman Big Ginormous Roaster. It's pretty big. Pretty deep, pretty big, just like I like it. Get this out of the way. Y'all, I need a kitchen about 5 times as big as I have one. If y'all come and saw my kitchen, y'all be like, what in the world do you have a kitchen so small for? I'm going to have to, I'm just going to sprinkle that seasoning right in that. My counters were nice and clean, so I'm just going to, all that seasoning that spilled out just a minute ago, I'm just putting it in this pan. Okay, so we have onions, and we have bell peppers, and we have maybe celery. I'm not sure. If not, it's fine. But we're going to add in here as well as potatoes and carrots. Now, you can see that nice sear. I'm going to turn it up on its side now. I'm going to turn this one up on its side. I'm going to kind of lean it against the edge of the pan. I'm just wanting to lock those seasonings in. And I have some potatoes here that are looking pretty rough. So we are going to peel them. And we're going to peel some carrots. I just bought some at BJ's. Have you guys went to BJ's? I love BJ's. Love, 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 love BJ's. And got me some more carrots and potatoes as well. And I'll be rinsing these off too, because y'all, these potatoes, they are dirty. Big time dirty. But we're going to peel them, and then we're going to wash them off real good, just because the dirt's getting on my hand as I'm holding it and peeling it. And I don't like to use a peeler on potatoes. I don't know why. I like to use a knife on my potatoes and a peeler on my carrots. I'm just weird like that. Thank you guys for popping on here. If you don't mind, share this craziness out there for me. And give me some comments on here. It helps the algorithm for me. And I'm not going to lie, I monetize now, but I don't monetize unless you comment on my post. So tell me what you're having for lunch tomorrow. What's for lunch tomorrow, Stacy and Addie? I see you guys on here. What's for lunch in y'all's neck of the woods? What are y'all doing for lunch tomorrow? Sometimes we just grab some good old Publix fried chicken and catfish. If y'all have not had Publix, catfish, you're missing out. It is the best catfish. I'm in love with it. I'll rinse these potatoes off. Now, I have new potatoes that I bought tonight, but these were my ones I wanted to use or lose, was their condition. All right, we're gonna move this meat around. And I'm gonna pour a little more olive oil in there. Where did I do with my olive oil? Right here. Y'all, when you use olive oil, you want that glass bottle, one source, cold press. It's the best. And I'm just gonna kind of sprinkle that around in there. Because we want all that little bits and pieces of seasoning and meat to like get that goodness on the pan, and we're gonna make a little bit of a gravy juice to pour over this here in just a minute. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to cut up my potatoes and leave them in chunks about this big. I started off way too small. Just like this one right here, I'm just gonna cut it in half. Cut it in half. This one's a little bigger. I may cut it into thirds. Okay, we need another bag of potatoes. Okay, these potatoes I bought tonight, they're looking a little better. And my beef roast is almost seared to where it needs to be. So we're going to keep peeling and turning on the other side. Y'all, it's going to be so, look at this ginormous potato, y'all. Wow, it's a humongous one. Now, potatoes that aren't so dirty, sometimes I just wash them off really good and just use skin and all. But I think since I've got the other ones peeled, I'm going to peel these. A super fast process. Just make sure your knife is nice and sharp. And you'll want to wash them off. This is a 5-pound bag of potatoes. I'm also making rice because my family's a rice lover. Do y'all like rice? Does anybody on here like rice with their meal? I'm going to turn this burner down just a little bit, because we are finishing up and I don't want anything burning over here. Okay, we're going to add just a little bit of water. What that's going to do is loosen up that little bits and stuff that's cooked to the bottom. I have my pan right here. Y'all, look at these cool tongs. My Nick bought me these for Christmas. It's a whole set of wooden utensils, and there was wooden tongs. Have you ever seen such? Oh, yes. Rice is an amazing filler. Miss Dorothy Pamela, you in Louisiana, girl? Y'all are rice eaters. My family, my mother's side of the family's in Louisiana, and that's where we get our rice-loving people from. All right, we're just going to set these to roast in this pan. And what I'm going to do is my skillet has all this little goodness from that water that I poured in it. Oh, y'all, it smells so good. I'm going to pour just a little. I'm going to kind of clean the pan up. And then we're going to do the same thing with the pork loin. So you literally just season your meat and throw it in the skillet. Okay, so now I'm going to pour this over my roast. Oh, y'all, my goodness. All right, so there's still some seasoning on the pan. I'm gonna turn that off for a second. I'm gonna sit this over here because we are peeling these potatoes. And I'm gonna get the carrots peeled. And the potatoes and carrots will cook in the beef with the beef roast. They'll be right in there with it. I think we'll cut that. I'm gonna do one big potato. These would make excellent baking potatoes, y'all. BJ's had these. Do y'all have a BJ's in your area, Pamela? Do y'all have a BJ's? We got one this past, maybe 2 years ago it opened. I can't remember if it was 1 year or 2 years ago. So I went tonight and we got these potatoes there and they are humongous. Okay, so I'm really thinking that I probably need to do one more potato. You know, you just have to kind of look at it and be like, what does the ancestors tell you to do? And they say do one more potato, and probably there's going to be leftovers, and my husband will be so happy to take it to work on Monday. But there may not be leftovers either, and that's okay. Don't y'all love it when food is not wasted? Whew. If food is not wasted, that is my happy day. Okay, we're going to empty our garbage bowl. And I got me this big old honkin' pack of carrots. We're going to move these potatoes over because they are going to be ready to go in that roaster in just a minute. And we're going to get this pork loin ready now. Okay, so I'm going to get my prep pan back over here. Rinse it out. Okay, don't freak out that I did not wash it out with soap because it's okay. Everything's going to be cooked, and the beef juices and seasonings with the pork loin on top of it is going to be fine. All right, so I'm going to just get you a half pork loin. Now, a pork loin is a fattier meat than your beef loin. Keep that in mind. But a half loin is pretty large, y'all. Pretty large. Okay, so it's gonna have to be moved around in the pan because my pan is not, I need a great big, humongous cast iron skillet. I need to invest in that because that would be so good. Yes, Melissa, I'm with you. I love leftovers. Oh, here's a potato that got left out. My husband is a one-time only. And personally, I could eat leftovers for 2 or 3 days. What about y'all? Where'd my bowl go? Right here. What I like to do is cook up a big old pot of soup. Get me a big old pot of soup going. And eat on it all week. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with this one that I did with the last one. I'll turn that burner back on. I wished I had a gas stove. Do y'all have gas or electric? What do y'all have? I want gas, but we don't have natural gas in this area, so I would have to get a tank. I'm not against a tank. I'm just against having to forefront all that money to get it started. Okay, so as soon as that pan is sizzling again, I'm going to carefully maneuver my big ginormous pork loin. I'm gonna go ahead and oil it down like this too, but it's got a big old back fat on it. that's gonna give us some juice, y'all. Pork loin takes care of itself. It gives off a lot of juices. It is a fattier meat, probably not as good for you, but this house, we believe in eating, and we don't too much worry about all that. We just be careful. Hey, Jules, look at you. You caught me live, girl. All right, so I'm gonna take this big old pork loin right here, straight out of the package, y'all. Straight out of the package. I'm not sure where I got it. Kroger, Food City, I don't know. And I'm just, look at there, it fit perfect in my pan. I didn't think it was going to, and it did. Okay, so we're gonna pan sear that again, same thing like the beef. It holds those juices in so that your meat doesn't get all dry. So I took 3 days of eating. Girl, Melissa, that's the way to do it. Yeah. Jules, your chicken soup fed me for a week. That's what I like to do too. I miss you. When you gonna come sit by me at church? Miss Jules, you need to come sit by me. We might get in trouble for talking. I'm kidding. We're adults. We're big girls. We can handle it. All right, y'all. These nice carrots. These are fresh carrots too, man. Okay. Do y'all have compost piles or bins? Compost bins. I had one. My husband built it between two trees. Storm came, knocked the tree over, busted the compost pile all up. That's some really fertile ground right there. We scooped up what we could, but it was a mess. All right, I don't know what I'm doing here, because I'm gonna peel these before I cut them. All right, so I'm just gonna peel these babies while my pork is searing over here. Again, I'm not cooking this meat. I'm just pan searing the outside to lock those juices in. Just season your pork or your beef, and you can't really do this with chicken. I guess you could. I've never done it with chicken. Let's say it like that. And I'm going to cook this all night, and that's another reason why I didn't want to lose all the juices out of my meat. Cook it real low, like 250. And sometimes if I get up in the night to go to the restroom or something, I'll come in and check on everything. It's never failed me. I'm not afraid to use my oven at night. Now, if you have got a gas stove, I don't know that I don't know if I'd be brave enough to do that all night because I've never done it. Tomorrow, you come find me. Yeah, Amanda, we are making pot roast and pork roast, beef roast and pork roast for tomorrow's lunch. Got some family coming over. And it's my mama's last Sunday here. And so I'm getting some lunch together. And I've got my my beef roast is already over here in the pan. I've already seared it. I seasoned it really good, and today we're just using Kinder seasoning. And I just, okay, I'm cutting my carrot chunks, my big fat chunks, I'm cutting them horizontally as well. The others, I'm just cutting them right across. But my beef roast, I've got 2 of them. If you just came on, I'll show you what I've got done so far with my beef. Right here. It's not cooked in the inside. I pan seared it. I poured some water in it at the end, and it sizzled up all those juices and spices that it cooked into the bottom of the pan and made me a little gravy. And I poured that over the meat. Okay, so let's see, I'm going to do a couple more carrots. But Amanda, my lunch is going to consist of, whoops, I did not peel that. My lunch is going to consist of pork roast, beef roast. In the beef roast, potatoes and carrots will also be cooking. We will have a pot of rice because we will have a lot of gravy make out of this. And I'm going to show you why or how I'm going to pre-set myself to have gravy. I bought some, and my gluten-free son may be stopping by, and if he does, I went ahead and I'm using gluten-free stew, pot roast mix. McCormick has a great gluten-free brown gravy. Publix was out. BJ's didn't have it. So my husband nosed around Publix until he found something that I think will do. He was pretty useful tonight, y'all. Y'all got you a good man? If you don't, you need to find you one. Or pray the one you have into goodness. I'm very blessed. Tonight he went shopping with me. He is not a shopper. If y'all saw that video I put out this past week from Dollar General, that is Mr. Helms right there. He would rather take a beating. I really feel like, do y'all like carrots? I love carrots, and that just still doesn't look like quite enough. I've probably peeled about 5 of these big babies, but for leftovers and grown men eating, I'm worried I don't have enough. Okay, we're going to turn this roast over, this pork loin. We're going to turn it over now. And I'm searing this side. Again, you're not cooking it all the way through. You're just searing that outside edge. Or outside perimeter, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so I think this is plenty of potatoes and carrots. So this is what I have for potatoes and carrots that's going to go in with my beef roast. So here's my big old Pioneer Woman. Get this junk out of the way. My big old Pioneer Woman dish. Over here, my big roaster. I need 3 times the kitchen, y'all. Maybe I'll get rich one day and get me a big kitchen, because y'all houses are so expensive. I don't see it ever happening. Now, what I'm going to do with this, because I want these to be seasoned all over. So I'm going to take some olive oil and I'm going to pour it all over my veggies. Now, you want to do it over the pan because it's liable to come right out the bottom of the pan. This is a colander. You could use just a regular, bowl, but I didn't because I used the same one that I was rinsing with. And then we're going to take a spoon and we're just going to do this number. Sorry, my phone's trying to die on me. Are you kidding me? I'll plug it in. I'm not going to lose you. I'm not going to lose you, I promise. Okay, now what we're going to do is take some of this Kinder seasoning. Now, I was telling others that came in at first, Kinder seasoning, it says grilled chicken, but y'all, it has all the goodness that you need for your roast. And so I'm just going to sprinkle it on all these veggies and turn them to where they just get all close and mixed up together. They're going to rub shoulders. They're going to get all personal with each other. And we're going to do a little bit more. Okay, now, my beef roast is underneath this. Alright, so I'm just going to pile them in there. Look at that beautiful mess. Look at that. That's called cutesy chaos. Okay, I'm just going to kind of make it go around that roast. And y'all see how easy that is. Y'all go make you a roast next Sunday. I want to hear about it. Come back on here and tell me that you cooked a roast and tell me how it went for you, okay? I have the cutest dishware. You want to know how I get my dishware? I'm not lying. When my kids say, what do you want for your birthday, Mom? I name a Pioneer Woman piece. If they say, what do you want for Christmas, Mom? I told Nick, I want wooden utensils. And he found me the cutest set that had wooden tongs, y'all. Look at that. I am like in love. Okay, I'm going to turn that off because that side of the pork loin is ready to go. And I'm not quite ready for it. All right, so we have our potatoes. We have our carrots. We're going to go in with onions and bell pepper. I'm going to see if I have any celery. Hey, will you get my white bone charger and bring it in here for me? Okay. He says it's not his. I don't believe him. I think it's mine. But I'm going to plug in my phone. If I can see underneath here. Sorry, y'all. I'm getting all personal with y'all, too. Y'all, I have a pet peeve I'm going to share with y'all. That I have to be careful that I don't. Do you ever have a pet peeve and you find yourself doing it? Hold that pet peeve thought for just a second. Okay, so for my onion, I have whole sweet Vidalia onion in there. But again, I hate food waste, so I had all these little pieces of onion left over from hamburgers, a red onion left over from Cowboy Caviar. And so I'm just going to use these onions. And I like to cut them big because my oldest son and my husband, y'all, they all prejudiced against onion. They hold a grudge against onion. Do y'all hold a grudge against onion? If you do, I don't want to hear about it. Y'all gonna hurt my heart. All right. So that's perfect. That was perfect for the beef roast. Okay, now we're gonna put the bell pepper. Look at these pretty babies right here. This is how I like them. I like them colored. Okay, this does not say pre-washed. So, do y'all rewash people? Start over again. Do y'all rewash your pre-washed veggies? Maybe I should, but I don't. Okay, so what we're going to do, because I don't want my pan to get too cold over here, because we want a little sizzle. Y'all remember that sizzle that my beef roast had? If y'all weren't in here. Y'all hear that? That's lifting all the goodness off the bottom of that pan. I'm telling y'all, this is so simple. If you don't do this, I'm going to call you a big chicken. A big chicken. I said it, my friends. It's not hard to cook. It's not. You just have to be confident that it's really hard to mess up. It really is. Okay, so because the onion prejudiced people are prejudiced against my bell pepper as well, I'm going to cut it big. This is going to be the prettiest roast. And I'm only going to use about a half of each of these colored bell peppers. Okay. All right, flavor and beautiful stuff inside of here. I'm just going to sprinkle me some of that Kinder's. It's Kinder's all the way today, y'all. I'm trying a new one. I'm upset because my melting pot, garlic, and wine, y'all, I don't know what in the world is going on with melting pot. But they quit putting it on Amazon unless they've put it back on this week and I haven't noticed. Okay, bell pepper, onion. Here we go. Lots of other good stuff. This right here, these babies, have another secret. Let me go get it. Dry ranch seasoning. It don't matter what brand it is, y'all. This right here and some butter, it's kind of like how you make an Italian beef. But we're going to take this and we're just going to sprinkle it all over in there. Oh, y'all. Okay, don't inhale it. It's not meant to inhale. Ugh, that was bad. Okay. Okay. We did the ranch. And now here is my gluten-free stew seasoning, Sunday pot roast, rich gravy, and there is 0 gluten in it. So if you're gluten intolerant, this is your friend. Okay, so we did a ranch seasoning pack. Now we're going to do a beef seasoning pack. Oh, y'all, this is going to be so good. All right, now, here's the kicker. Oh, let me tell you, these right here, you want to take you a bunch of these pepperoncinis, these guys right here, and we're just going to throw them all over this roast. And then you want to know what else I'm going to do? Oh, that one's so full of juice. When it erupts, it's going to just leak its goodness all over my roast. Okay. Okay, it's looking good. Now, watch what we're going to do. We're going to take this juice and we're just going to pour it all over this. Not the whole thing. Don't get too happy because it does have a kick. But I'm going to pour it over the top of the roast because I got all that seasoning on top of there. Okay, now your roast is going to put off some juice, but remember, we kind of trapped that juice in there. So we got some beef broth, and we kind of pour some beef broth down in here. And what's going to happen is that beef gravy, y'all, that beef gravy, that beef pot roast mix, it's going to get all happy. And I can use all that because I've got one more. It's going to be so happy because it's going to mix with this beef broth and it's going to make the best thing ever. And now, what do you think the final ingredient is? Y'all guess. Put it in the comments. What is the final step to this beautiful roast? Look at this baby. 2 roasts. If you want to know how much these roasts are, roast, they are now breeding cows with strands of gold, apparently. Gold is running through their veins or something because beef is ridiculous, even at Aldi's. One was 18 and one was 27. I'm just going to say that real quick and get it out of my head because it makes me sick to think about it. But my family deserves it. And we got this big old wonderful pork loin over here. And apparently pigs are cheap because pigs' meat is not expensive, except for bacon. What is up with that? Okay, so what is the... Yes, my doggy. He gave up. Yep, he gave up. He does come check. You wanna know what his favorite food is? Bell pepper and carrots. Okay. What's my final ingredient? What do you think? Somebody tell me. What do you think the final ingredient is? There's 6 of y'all on here. Somebody be brave and tell me. What's my final thing to put in this pot roast right here? What is the final ingredient to throw on here before I wrap it up and get it ready to put in the oven for all night? Here he comes again, Jules. Augie, you've been so good. Come here, boy. We're going to give him some bell pepper, okay? You want to see? Look at him. Augie, can you tell everybody hi? All right. You got to catch it because I got to keep my hands clean. 1, 2, 3. Oh, he did good. Okay. Rosemary. Okay, you know what? You got me wanting to put some rosemary in here. That wasn't it. Okay, Suzette, dry ranch is already in here. Dry ranch is already in here. You missed that part. Dry ranch is in here. And I did forget my dry Italian like this, so I'm going to add it, but that's not my last ingredient. Okay, we're just going to put this all over. Okay, save a little bit for the pork loin. All right, what's the last ingredient? What do y'all think? Butter. Yeah, we're a walking heart attack, obesity, probably no telling what else over here with how we cook. It's no wonder I'm fluffy. But you know what? I got one life to live, and I'm not going to spend it worried about every little pound that I have on my body. I do like to lose weight, just like y'all do, but I'm not obsessed with it. And if I need to cut back a little bit, I do. And then you know what happens? My metabolism is like garbage at this age, and it doesn't do anything. But anyway, I am trying intermittent fasting. We'll see how that goes. I'll keep you posted on that. Okay, yes, Jules, the golden butter. And we're going to do a whole stick. And we're going to make sure one's on each roast here. Yes, look at that. And we're just going to make it look pretty with those bell peppers. Oh, okay, now we're done with this one. We're done with it. I'll tell you another thing you can do. You can always pour like Olive Garden dressing over it also, and that would give you some extra seasoning, but since I used a lot of the peppercini juice, I'm not going to do that. Okay, we're going to wrap it in aluminum foil. Y'all, I'm so happy I went to BJ's tonight because your intestines need fat to process food. Girl, that's what I'm saying. Yes, I just told my kids in biology class this last week, y'all gotta eat fats. Now you need the right ones, but your intestines, they gotta have something greased. Your intestines gotta be greased for food to go through them. You go all fat-free, you're gonna have problems. So I'm trying to eliminate problems. I'm giving it plenty of fat. Okay? And I'm going to, I like my aluminum foil to be really wrapped around my pan. So I'm gonna go more stove to one side and then do one more strip. Y'all, BJ's Berkeley Jensen brand, it's their brand of aluminum foil. I do not get paid to advertise for them, but this aluminum foil is heavy duty. It's labeled as heavy duty, and it truly is. Now, if you have a convection oven that really blows a good fan, which I love, we have them at church, you have to make sure you don't have loose ends, or they're going to fly all over in your oven. Okay, the beef roast is ready. Now we're going to do the pork roast. Okay, for the pork roast, I'm not going to use butter, and the reason is it has lots of fat already on the back side of it. My beef roast, if you didn't see what all I did with my beef roast, you want to go back and watch, okay? Lots of stuff was in my beef roast. Pepperoncinis, onions, bell pepper. Kinder's seasoning is what we're using tonight. I don't get paid to advertise for them either, just so you know. We are going to use the Sunday pot roast with the pork, which we also put in the beef. We are going to use dry ranch seasoning, which we also used in the beef. We are not going to use butter, okay? We are not going to put potatoes and carrots in this, but we are going to put the rest of the bell pepper, and I'm going to get me another onion so that I can cut it up in the pork roast as well. It will have the pepperoncinis, and it will have the seasonings, but it won't. Fat has too much sugar and salt to make up for FF. I'm not sure what you're saying, Suzette. Something has too much sugar and salt to make up for fat. I don't know what you're saying. Tell me though. Okay. Y'all, my friend Suzette, if you live in this Maryville area, I just want you to know that first of all, she's the sweetest friend a girl could ever ask for. And second of all, we're going to put the fat side down with this loin. Okay? Now, we are fixing to gird up this pig's loins. What does gird mean? I don't know what I'm saying. I probably ought to be careful. Oh, fat-free stuff adds extra sugar and salt to make up for the lack of the fat. Yes, and I am aware that your lower fat milks have more sugar. They do. So I'm telling y'all, just eat. Just eat. Just eat. Okay, so we're just going to cut the rest of this bell pepper, these 2 bell peppers, and Augie's like, excuse me? That is my bell pepper. Y'all, he loves bell pepper. Let me give you a carrot boy. He loves carrots too. Anything that has that crunch. Okay, so we're just going to kind of throw some bell pepper in here. And I'm just butchering it, and that's okay. You don't have to make everything fancy. Now, my son and daughter-in-law will tell you different because they're the gourmet cooks. Hang on, let me get an onion. Okay, let's get back to my friend Suzette. Y'all, she cleans my house every 2 weeks, and she's amazing. But she is an amazing person. And since she's on here with you right now, I want you to whisper a little prayer for her because she lost her husband around the holidays, and it's been a tough time for her and her kids. He passed away of cancer, so please keep him in your prayers. Her in your prayers. He is passed, but let's keep her in your prayers. It's hard. She's a single mama now, working to make a living, and I'm going to tell you, she has an amazing work ethic. My house is so clean when she gets through. And I will say this, my house is not easy to clean because it's like a jigsaw puzzle. It's so cut up, and 2 living rooms, and it's not that big of a house, but yet it is. I don't know how to really describe it. Okay. All right. Hey, Penny Murphy, y'all. That's my ride or die. My Penny Murphy. I couldn't do life without her. God knew that. And about 16 years ago, he brought her into my life. And I am ever so thankful because she has dried many of my tears. And she's also kept me from jail. We're just going to say that. She calms my storms. She puts the sense and the sensibility. We call ourselves peanut butter and jelly. And want to know who's the jelly, the sweet part? It's her. But we say that because, and I don't have any problem saying it. Yeah. Yes. I love you, Penny Murphy. I love you, Suzette. I love you, Jules, Marcy. All you guys are my great big old friends. Okay. Now for the pork loin. Here it is. I seared it both sides, seasoned with Kinder's. That's my seasoning for today, in case you just popped on. I'm going to go ahead and go back over it with Kinder's. Lots of it. Can we over season? Yeah, we can, to be honest. We're going to take the ranch and we're just going to sprinkle it on there. Gluten-free, by the way. There's no gluten in it. That's a milk product. My Kinder's Same brand. Kinder's. By the way, that was not intentional. My McCormick's gluten-free brown gravy was MIA at a Publix. And so I found, or my husband found this stew seasoning. It's called stew seasoning, but it says Sunday pot roast on it. So we're like, why can't we use that? And you want to know what's the crazy part? It didn't say gluten-free. But when I looked at the ingredients, there is 0 wheat in it. And that is what makes, that's gluten. That's gluten. Gluten is a binder, and they use wheat to bind with. And I'll tell you what the majority of gluten sensitivity comes from, and some celiac. What they're really allergic to is the pesticides that we spray on our wheat. Ask Jeremy Stafford. He can tell you about that. Okay, so I have all that. We're going to throw in the pepperoncinis. My son's calling. I'll call him right back. Call him back in just a second, because we're about to wrap this show up. Okay, I'm just dumping in pepperoncinis like crazy on this pork loin. Can y'all see that? There you go. I forget when I'm talking to you to put it on the food. I'm just going to use the rest of these. Why not? And then I'm going to pour some of the juice. I'm just not going to use butter on the pork, because your pork has a lot of fat already. Okay, I'm going to use the rest of my beef broth out of this one, which was just a sprinkle, and I have one more over here. And we're going to pour a little bit of that down in there. Your pork is going to make a lot of juice, so you don't want to put a whole lot, or you will end up with too much in your pan and it might spill over. Okay, y'all, that's it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put these roast in the oven when I go to bed on 250. I have an electric stove. I don't know, I'll be honest, I don't know if I would do it in gas, because gas is a much more intense heat. I would probably, it also cooks faster. I would probably just get up at like 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock on Sunday morning and put it in and cook it on 350 for about 4 hours. If you have a timer on your oven. If not, get up about 5 o'clock and put it in. Oh, y'all know what I didn't do? I didn't pour this goodness on top of this pork. Let's do that right now. But we need to scrape up the seasoning off of the pan. Okay, and we're just going to pour it over the top of that. I'm trying to see that. That's so good. It just poured right. I just poured all that right over the top of that roast. So I'm going to cook it all night on 250. And then I'm going to get up in the morning at about 7 and check the status of the doneness. Is that a word? I don't know if that's a word, but we're going to use it as a word. And if the doneness, oh my goodness, I make the biggest messes, y'all. Oh, Penny can attest to that. She knows how messy I am. Okay. In the morning, I did that wrong. In the morning, if it's not quite done, I'll leave it on 250 until I go to church, and I leave at about 9 o'clock. So that'd be 2 more hours of cooking on 250. If it is still needing to cook and not quite done, It will stay on 250 for the duration of church. If it is done means you can take a fork and just barely pull it apart. If it's done, then you're going to, I don't know what that yes she does. Amber, my sister, popped on here and I don't know what she's commenting to. If it is done, then you're just going to put it on like a low temp, a very, very low temp, and just let it cook the rest of the time that you're in church. It's not going to hurt it. Some people don't put in their potatoes and carrots until the last hour. I just put mine in. So sis, since you're on here, I have all the roast prepared, pork roast, and a big pan of beef roast. Probably about 6 pounds of beef roast, and that is probably about 6 pounds of pork roast as well. I love y'all. Thank you. Oh, I am a bit messy. Yes. I knew it was not going to be nothing like, I was hoping she said yes, she does. I was hoping it was like, yes, she does cook so well. No, I am messy and she knows it. But I love y'all. If you don't mind, hop on there and share out my video and just make some kind of, you know, you can tag me in it, or you can just put, she's cooking up a storm, or just label it some kind of something. But comment, put a comment in here for me because it helps me. And I'm really trying to boost my monetization and my algorithm with my Tootie's Table. So I love y'all, and until next time, let's stay tuned. Y'all go cook and let me know what you had for dinner tomorrow. Pop back on here tomorrow and put it in the comments and tell me how good it was. I love y'all, and I'll talk to you later.